Hello and welcome back, guys. I think there are two people in, but I'm not so sure. But if you're in, can you let me know how the stream is? It looks good on my end. I'm just not sure how it'll look on your end. I've had a few problems with the internet earlier today, but it seems to be okay at the moment. And we are coming to the end of the season here at Burnley. And I was thinking today, I was working my way through the Norwich save and working my way through the summer transfer window. And I was just thinking, is this game trying to say to me, look at me, I'm a silly childish game? Because if it is, it's doing a very good job of actually persuading me. And just looking at what's happened here at Burnley, if we can have a look, all three forwards have been injured. Now I'm having to play Ashbria up top. And I don't know why it decides to do these things, but we've got games against Manchester United today. And I think what's the other game that we have left? We have Brentford. But the good news is that we are safe. I guess the game's just trying to tell me that, okay, you're not going to get any more points, and I have to make sure that that happens. We recovered by changing things against Chelsea and against Blackburn, and now the game has thrown its toys out of the pram again. Hey, Gobby, how you doing, mate? And yeah, I've been trying out your ideas from that vid you did, but it comes with a couple of problems. Like one of the interesting things that happened was that my director of football seems to be just like going in for players willy-nilly, and I just, like myself, I go and buy a winger, and I'm waiting for the contracts and whatever to be tied up, and then he goes and buys like a midfield centre, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? I don't have any money left. And he's like, and then one time I was actually doing it, and I had about 49 mil left in the budget. I'd sold Sawyer, and I'd brought in another winger, and I had about 49 mil left in the budget. And then I went to check the finances, and it had gone down to 15 mil. And I didn't realise that he had brought in a centre-back from Manchester City on loan, and the board had actually withdrawn 14 million as out of my transfer budget, because they were putting it aside in case he was signed at the end of next season. I've never seen that happen before, where the board actually decides we'll take the money now. And, so okay, but then I looked again and I thought, hang on, and my wage budget had gone up by £600,000. And I thought, who did that? I didn't alter the budgets at all. So I then had to go and reduce the wage budget back to where it was, and then got my transfer budget back. So there's some very strange things happening, but that might not be to do with the director of football. There were also some other very strange things. I've put together a squad that looks very good up top, and I've got players who can play all over the pitch up top. And like, it must be having a heck of a job thinking, well, how can I injure players here? Because he's got so many players who can play all over the place here. And what it did was I had 6 fullbacks. It's injured every single one of them. It's just like, okay, you throw your toys out of the pram then. And they're not short-term injuries. They're all going to be out for most of pre-season, and some of them are going to be out for 6 to 7 weeks. I have no fullbacks in the Norwich save at all now. They're all injured. I've never seen that ever before in my life. It's really like playing hardball. And I don't know what's going on there. It's just horrendous. But we'll get by. But today, that's all I can do. As I had, because I got all 3 forwards injured, I've only got a Sabria left who can play up top. But actually, he's not a bad advanced forward when you come to think about it. And that meant that then I had no one who could fill in here, but Goho will have to play as the attacking mid. I only have two wingers left now. That's a big problem as well. So they're going to have to stay on the pitch. And there's no substitutions for them. I don't have a full bench again. So it's unless it's trying to say to me, you've got to play this guy, he will have to come on at some point. He's just like 18 years old, I think, and he's going to have to play at some point. So I don't know what's going on here, but we are safe. Everton only have 29 points. We're 12. We're 12 points. Yeah, does the director of football, Gobby, does he actually adjust your wage budget and your transfer budget? Because you have to keep a very close eye on him. I don't know why he did that, and I've never seen that before. When you actually when you actually sign a player on loan and you put in an offer for an optional fee at the end of the season, and I'd never put in I'm definitely going to buy him. But he had, I think, had put in, we will definitely make an offer of 14 million for him at the end of the season. I should have checked it. But then I've never seen the board take the money out straight away, which was also another shock to me. And you have to be very careful doing this director of football business, because he does his own thing. I've had to cancel several transfers that he wanted to make. They were good players he was bringing in, but I had my own ideas of what I wanted to do. And he was buying players without any budget in there. And he was adjusting the wage budget, but then not leaving any money in the transfer budget to actually pay for them. I don't know what he was doing. But hey-ho, we're going to try it again with Burnley. If we decide that we're going to go on with this Burnley save, then we'll try it again with this Burnley side and see what happens. Because maybe as I'm not used to doing it, that's probably the problem. I don't know how to keep a tight rein on him, to be fair. And let's bring Amadosic in, why not? And go defensive. Come on. I need to get rid of this assistant manager as well. I think he might be Italian, the way he wants to play football. So we might have to get rid of him. I did look at improving my director of football, but in the Norwich save, I have a very, very good director of football. He can only scout. His only qualifications are England and Scotland. So I thought, okay, well, let's take the advice and let's go and look for another one. But I couldn't find a director of football who could scout all over the world, as it were, who had knowledge of all over the world. They were all like one country. And I don't know if that's, again, something to do with the future. But after this game, we'll have a look and see if we can find a director of football who who can scout or has knowledge of the entire world. I can't change the bench because they're all injured. But let's go and play this game. I mean, my director of football is very, very good. He's got all the right attributes, but he doesn't have great world knowledge. But I couldn't find anybody who had more than one country, and none of them were any better than him. I'm not going to say we've been on a good run. I think we'll say we've got nothing to lose here. We haven't got anything to lose because we're safe. And as long as we don't slip down now the table 3 places, then hopefully this will be a good end to what has been a difficult season, but we've survived. Difficult season because we had such a poor start because we couldn't get the players to play together. And Kirkin's going to get sent off straight away, is he? No, it's just a yellow. But this is obviously going to be a worry because getting such a yellow and it being highlighted is a bit of a worry. But we have at Norwich, because he's looking for players, I think it has helped. He's finding some very, very good players. It's just that with the transfer budget I had available, it was a waste of time. Oh, we giving away a penalty, have we? Oh, Kirkin's got a red card now. I just told him to ease off the tackles. And Kirkin's been sent off. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, how many players have I had sent off in this save? Well, I don't think I've got a left back now, have I? Oh, yeah, Babaraman and Goho didn't want to play anyway. He's got to have to come off. And that's that. I'm going to go to, because we're going to get hammered here now, I'm going to go to key highlights. Because, why is it on full match? And I can't change it. That's weird. Why can't I change it? Let's go to key highlights, because we're going to get hammered now. Man United are such a good team. So, oh boy. Sometimes I think that if you are successful, it's going to stop you being successful. It'll do whatever it can. And I wanted to, if we get a few more in, I wanted to have a chat about levels of difficulty and to try and like list the things that it does to make your life difficult. And we know this, like, it could be Gobby. I know Steam updates all the time. It updated tonight, so maybe it's sneaking in little updates. And I was like thinking about how does it make your life difficult? Well, there's injuries. It injures, like it's really thrown its toys out of the pram with the Norwich save. It just injured every fullback that I had. I've had Pook playing at right back, which is weird. Absolutely weird. How can I have a left winger playing at right back? So that's one of the things it will do to make your life really difficult. It will injure players. It's something you can't control. The game has all of the control on that, and you have no say in it. And I just want to make a list of these things that it does. I do believe it has a switch in the algorithm that can switch off your goal scoring, and if you are being overachieving too much, it will flick that switch and you will stop scoring goals. I do believe there is that switch, and you've got to figure out then how to switch it back on again. And if you don't change something, then it will be very difficult for you, so you have to change something at that point. The game is like a puzzle, and like a crossword puzzle. You have to get into the mind of the creator, and I did that in tomorrow's episode in Norwich, the 2 final games of the season, because I've played this game too long and I knew what was going to happen, so I made changes and fooled the AI a little bit. Oh, we've hit the crossbar. I actually play well when I'm down to 10 men. And yeah, so I made some changes to what was going on in tomorrow's episode, and I fooled the AI, and I'm going to say that they've defended very well. You've defended superbly. You weren't that bad, but you can still improve. Asprilla on a 6.4 because he's the only forward that I've got. And so it's kind of like I wasn't celebrating during the episode because I didn't feel that it was cause to be celebrating, because I felt like I'd just cheated a cheat. That's how I'd felt. And I knew what was going to happen, and therefore I felt you are cheating, so therefore if I cheat, then you can't beat me. And what I did actually worked. And I feel like I cheated a cheat, which is kind of weird, because I made those bizarre changes that I should never have made in those 2 games. So there is that, the 2 important games. Like, Wolves suddenly played like they were Bayern Munich. I'm like, okay. And that shouldn't happen. Wolves had nothing to play for. Mid-table. Safe. They weren't in any worries. They couldn't go any higher. They were going to finish in 12th no matter what happened. And yet suddenly they turn up and they start playing like Barcelona or Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. And we're looking like idiots. Top of the league. And so I realized I know what is happening here. And I made some changes and outfoxed it. Oh yeah, gift them a goal, why not? We were doing so well. And I don't have any players I can bring on. I'm just going to drop them a bit of encouragement. And, but that was like, yeah, bound to happen. Not to worry. Once we got a red card in the first minute, that was pretty obvious. We've been absolutely pasted anyway. But it doesn't matter, we're safe. Let's go and make some changes now. Madosic 6.1. Look at my defence. That's got to do with the lines. The entire defence playing badly is to do with the lines. Let's go and change these lines. So it's either you're playing too high or you're not, or you're playing too low. So we were high up the pitch, so let's play low. Let's come back to a mid-block, close the gap here, step up more. And I don't want to. I can't change the entire defence, but Amadosic is dreadful. He's having one of those days. And who else? I don't want to change anything else. Larson, I can't change the wingers, but I could bring on this guy for a game. Can he play on that side? Yeah, he can play on that side. Asprilla, I can't do anything about, even though he's tired. How's my midfield doing? Gregera. Makuta's doing okay. Gregera's not. Let's bring on Bayic. That's pretty much all I can do at this point. But as I say, I'm not too bothered. Manchester United was never going to be a game we were going to win. But it's just a bit disappointing. We got a red card. And now what that means is that I don't have a full-back. I don't think I have a full-back for the final game of the season. Go on, make it 3-0 United. Have a party. No, their finishing is a bit like ours. Let's get a goal. Come on, boys. Let's get a goal. You can do this. Are they starting to play a bit better? Nah, they're not playing any better. But they haven't had a chance yet, I suppose, to adjust to the lines. We haven't given away a goal yet. So I guess it's better than they were playing. It is, though, if you do find that all your defence is playing badly, it's not to do with the players having a bad game. You have to adjust your lines. That's pretty much what you've got to do. Oh, look at this passing. It's absolutely adorable, isn't it? 3-0. No. Offside. Come on, let's get to the final whistle. There's no need to prolong the agony anymore. We're still in 14th. That was our game in hand, was it? We have to win the last game, though, against Brentford, because we want to stay in 14th. We don't want Aston Villa overtaking us. Oh, United are absolutely pounding us into the ground. Absolutely hammered us. But then with 10 men, what do you expect? Oh, I don't want to see that again. But I'm still pleased with how it's gone. Makuta, replace him with Bastion, why not? very pleased with how it's gone. Except at the end now where it's injured every forward that I have. And most of my full-backs are not available for some reason. Asprilla, oh my god, 5.8. Well, he's not used to playing up there, is he? Yeah, well, whatever. So we are 14th with 2 points ahead of Aston Villa. I'd like to win against Brentford. So Kirkin's out. So Babaraman will have to start against Brentford. I'm actually going to give everybody a rest. I'm going to give the whole squad a day off. Anybody who can stand up can have a day off. Why not? Just give them a day of rest. I sometimes wonder what would happen if you actually give your whole squad a day of rest the day before the day before a match. What would happen? Because they can't be selected then. I've often wondered that. I'd love to try it one day. In fact, maybe I'll just do it in my West Ham save just to see what actually would happen. Because what would the game do if you're not allowed to pick any of your players? So, yeah, that would be quite interesting. So maybe in my West Ham save, I will do that. Give them a day off the day before the game. And then they're all on a day off on the day of the match. That'd be like a really interesting experiment. What would happen? What do you think would happen, Gobby? Hey KH, how you doing, mate? We are coming to the end of the season here at Burnley. We're just about done. Oh, that's really kind of you, mate. That's really kind of you, mate. I've had some really nice comments lately. Some really nice comments. And thank you very much for that one. I did have a comment from somebody today. And it's a shame that YouTube is so slow getting your videos out to people. Because he said, I've been watching Lelujo. Hi, Brandon. He said, I've been watching Lelujo and Dr. Benji and Work the Space for years. And now your channel's turned up and you're a breath of fresh air. And looks like a binge watch is about to hit you. And so it's like, YouTube, come on, push it out. but YouTube actually only follows the algorithm. And the algorithm works by likes and comments and all that sort of stuff. So guys, give us a like on your way in or your way out. Help us to grow. But it's still going to be a very slow process. Oh, Musa's back, is he? Is Musa? Well, how is Musa back? How did we get Musa back? Maybe he was just suspended and not injured. Oh, well, that's got to be... He's got to go in for Asprilla, hasn't he? I wonder, though... Can I go back to this and then put Asprilla in his normal position? We can do that. We can do that. And we'll put Babaraman in here. And we'll attack. We'll attack against... let's put him a complete wing back on attack. But I think I'll play Costinha rather than... And then Goho can come on the bench. And that's that. Yeah, this is my Brazilian 4-4-2-4. It's based on the 1970s Brazilian team. It's quite an interesting tactic, this one. It's a very interesting tactic. You score lots of goals, but boy oh boy is it risky. It's very risky. And there's lots of open spaces at the back, but somehow it seems to work. And there is a video on this Brazilian tactic if you want to check it out. I think it works really nicely. I've played it a couple of times in this save. Musa uh, sending off. It doesn't say whether. Let's appeal. Go on, let's appeal. Not that it makes any difference, but it will be handy for next season. So I haven't appealed for anything. Cherlinoff is developing concerns. How much money have I got in the kitty? That's not finances. How much money have I got? That's what I want to know. Only 17. What if I reduce that all the way down? Control 36. I've only got 34,000. Cherlinoff, how important is he? He's quite important, isn't he, Cherlinoff? Cherlinoff. I have plenty of cover, though. But he is one of the top players. He is quite important, isn't he? Let's talk to his agent. Let's have a word with his agent, shall we? We're looking at a few options right now. 38 and 47. That sounds okay. So we'll try him. If he's only going to do that, let's go try him, squad player. Important player. You're having a giraffe. Okay. Let's go mainly starter. He'll be happy with that. 39. Let's try him on 35.5. That's a big worry. I don't want this yearly wage rise. He's not going to go for that. He ain't going for that. We might have to walk away, actually. Oh. Have I got 42k? Oh, boy. Yeah, I've got 42k. That'd be okay. So let's trade him up. He is one of the most important players, so I guess I need to keep him. Brazilian box. I don't know if I've come across that one, Brandon. Hey, Frank. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. Expectations are a draw. We don't want a draw, boys. We want to win. We want to beat Brentford. Can we go? Yeah, we can actually go into 13th if we win and West Ham draw or lose. So let's go for it. Let's see what we can do here. Once Costin instead of what? Are you crazy? He's not even a forward. Well, he can play as a forward. Finishing of 10, and you want me to take Musa out of the team? Attacking to cautious, regroup. This is Brazilian style. Oh, Musa's injured now, is he? Oh no, he's suspended again. Oh, come on. There has to be a Spria then. Oh, we're back to what we were doing before. Hello, Andrew. How you doing, mate? Any go-to player that... I was thinking about that. Leonardo would be one. Who Gobby will also testify that Leonardo, he is pretty much a go-to for most people. Young boy, 21 years old, bags of potential. He's got a 5-star potential, and most people will go for Leonardo. I don't actually just look for players that I know. I just wait to see what my scouts come up with. And luckily for me, Leonardo did appear on the scout reports. So that was kind of like a bonus. So, yeah. If I did have go-to players, another one is Reece Williams. Reece Williams, Manchester City, centre-back. He was always a go-to player for me in... Okay, Frank, I'll see you in a bit. Reece Williams, centre-back, Man City, was always a go-to for me in FM22. I just wait for him to show up on my scouting reports. He was a very good player. I haven't signed him in FM23, but I hear he's still a good player in FM23. And for me, when I'm struggling, this guy, Christian Bayic, he normally turns up on your scouting reports. He is a very good player, can play very well as a central defender, very good DLP, and can play as a centre mid as well, or a box-to-box. He is a very good player, and he's also someone who usually turns up on my scouting lists, and I'll probably sign him as well. But apart from that, I tend to just sign what the scouts find, and if they don't find anything, any of them, they don't find them. But they generally will find decent players for you if you wait long enough. Sometimes my scouts this year, oh God, they couldn't find their dinner on the dinner table. I just say, yeah, expect to see a much better performance today, as that was absolutely shocking. But now I don't feel so optimistic because I wanted to play Brazilian style. So sad to hear of his passing. Who's passing, Andrew? Whose passing are we referring to? Chris Bart Williams. Gosh, that's a name from the past, isn't it? Chris Bart Williams. There was another one. Oh, what's his name? Fullback, winger, Brook something. He was another one who was a very good player in FM22. Haven't signed him in FM23. Brook Norton or Brook Cuffy or something. Norton Cuffy. That's the one I'm thinking of. He was a very good player. And it's going to be Brentford, is it? I was wondering what colour we're playing in. Brentford with the first opportunity. I'm going to demand more from this team. That's absolutely shocking at the moment. Let's play some football here. It would be nice to score a goal in the last episode. It would be quite nice. Makuta with a... Yes, Makuta! He is a good player in 23. If you get the chance to sign Makuta... Sign Makuta. He's a very good player. Unfortunately, he's playing for Burnley this year, so he's not been allowed to show his skills, really. But he's a very, very good player, Makuta. And I was really happy to sign him. Got all the right attributes for me. And when I'm like going to struggle in the Prem, I like to have good mentals. Get those good mentals. Forget the technicals, just get the good mentors and you'll do okay. And we're in again. Yeah, oh, who was that? Spree, come on. I told you I need a better performance. But now we're up to 13th. That would be an amazing finish to the season, given how badly we played at the beginning. We've turned this around, and it was the 4-2-4, wasn't it, that turned it around. Things are going well. You're capable of even better. No. I think I need to be telling these boys up front they're not good enough. So let's tell these three. Everybody else is doing fine. These three idiots here are not good enough. Anybody else who needs a spanking? Babaraman. Oi, what's happened here? Oh, because I've already spoken to him. So you've not been good enough so far. Get your act together. Asprilla doesn't like playing on up top on his own, does he? As a false nine, he's been playing really well. I know it was a good goal, Gobby, wasn't it? If you get the chance, if Makuta shows up in your scouting search, he's a good player to buy. Very good Premier League quality player. Come on, Gregera. That's one good pass. Come on. Come on, boys, you've got this. We're in again. Chance. Oh, come on, Asprilla. Shall I bring that young kid on? Just put him up top for the hell of it. My assistant wanted him on. So let's bring him on. Why not? Asprilla's playing absolutely dreadfully. Now is your chance. Make a name for yourself, boy. Get yourself a place in the squad next year. Make a name for yourself. He's just a young kid. Oh, this doesn't look very healthy. Nice. Nicely done. Oi. Don't dilly-dally on the ball, for goodness sake. Do I need to up the tempo a little bit? Oh, that was a pass and a half. Where's that going to? It's kind of like the thing that I might do. Well done, boys. Well defended. Well defended. But it's these idiots up front that are playing really badly. Let's go make some changes. Look at these boys. I haven't got anybody to replace them with. That's the problem. There's nobody I can replace them with. What happened to all my wingers? They're all having to play, aren't they? Let's bring Bayek on. And then bring him down into... No, we don't want to do that. Bring Bayek down into midfield. We'll put Makuta up here. And we'll have Makuta centre mid. We'll play him as a box-to-box, why not? And then Bayek can play as a DLP. He likes to do that role. Because we're a goal up. Nah, put him on a support role. He likes to do that kind of stuff. And I can't do anything about those boys up top. Everybody's doing alright. Gabia's having another bad game. So Nathan Phillips can come in. Arroyo, he's just a fullback. Let's give Arroyo a game, why not? Gregera, it's time. Well, never mind. We'll go with that. Just tighten up at the back. Protect our goal. He kind of operates just like a standard winger, really. I don't see anything on a support duty except that he does get back and support. So he plays like a winger on support. That's the only thing I can really see. I don't see any difference between an inverted winger on an attack and an inside forward on attack. One of them should be more of an attacker, but I don't think it seems to make any difference. But an inside forward on support just tends to, like he would be a winger on support. He does come back and support. So I think it's really hard to say. The reason why I play him as an inside forward is because he should be taking more risks. He should be, what was that? What's he? He should be like trying more shots. So he should be just taking more risks. And they do tend to, and the inverted winger will look for support. But on an attack role, an inverted winger will look to score more. They're very, very similar roles. But yeah, the inside forward on support generally just tends to have a deeper position. He'll support more than attack. Oh, come on, referee. Penalty. That should do it. But have I got anyone who can take this penalty? Inside forward on attack is probably the best way, Brandon, to play an inside forward. But I don't know, I just like to play him on support sometimes if I want to have a deeper starting position. Makuta's put it away. 2-0. Nice to score a goal in the final episode. Nice to win the final match. And I just wonder what might have happened if I'd switched to the 4-2-4 a lot earlier. What might have happened in terms of the season? But there we are. We finished in 13th. And that's absolutely outstanding stuff. Absolutely outstanding stuff. Let's see what the budgets are. Yeah, he's come into his own lately. I think we did well there, given that we somehow didn't seem to have any players. So once they took those 3 forwards out, it affected the front 4 really badly. We gotta see what the budgets are. I mean, it was like when we look at this. If we look at this, I was like really worried at the beginning I was going to get sacked. When it started here against Coventry, we lost to Coventry in the friendly, and then it just went really bad. And I was really worried. By the time we got here, I'm thinking sack. And it still was bad into January. And then we had that win in the FA Cup. And that's when it all turned around. The 2-2 away at Manchester City. And the 3-0 away at Liverpool. Because we changed here. We changed at Wolves to the Brazilian 4-4-2. And then after that, we had that run. It all went wrong again. But we changed it back, didn't we, to the 4-1-2-1 here. And somehow managed to beat Chelsea in what was a really strange game. Everton have been relegated. Well, that's a blow for Everton. What happened to them then today? Drew 0-0 with Manchester City, a rough last fixture. But what's important is we finished in 13th, and I hope the board would reward such a performance with a very, very good budget. So we have to kind of figure out what do you think? I think probably 30 mil. They'll give us 30 mil. There's no European football. So if yeah, I did see he's playing really well, but he's also saying I don't want to play in this game. I don't think I'll bother playing in that game. So he's just Messi's messing a little bit. Oh, here's the budgets. What are they going to... This is where I'm going to need Gobby Gaffer's wisdom. The board have set the initial budget. Oh, it's better than I thought. But the wage budget's only $1 million. 47.78 million. What's our current wage expenditure? 47's quite good. We look at our current expenditure in the wages. We're over $1 million. So we have no wage budget to play with. I suppose we've got to look at players that we might need to get rid of. I'm not sure about Muric. I think he looks good on paper, but if we have a look at his form, he has patches where he's really bad. If we look at 6.4, 6.4, 6.2 there. He has good times and he has really bad times. But we could keep him for one more season, I suppose. He did have a very good spell. Did have a very, very good spell at one point there. Very good spell. Fell off a little bit here, 5.9 there. And that was, I think that was against, yeah, that was the Norwich debacle, wasn't it? Have I ever signed players on a free? But then, no, I've never done that. Is it easy to do? Is it easy to do, Andrew? Sign players on a free and then sell them on? I didn't. I thought they might be a bit upset by being sold on, and it might disrupt the squad harmony. It doesn't do that. So, I mean, you gotta applaud you for your for the way you work the game, and I think talking about the game, I think that if you've ever seen somebody do a crossword, if somebody, you yourself could probably do the Sun crossword. The clues are really easy, but if you try to do the Times crossword, it's probably going to take you a month of Sundays to do it. But you'll see somebody on a train who will just rush through the Times crossword. He's got 10 minutes before he gets to the office, and on the train he just finishes it in 10 minutes. How do they do it? They're not smarter than you or I, but they just are inside the mind of the person who creates it. They've been doing it for so long that they know how the creator of the crossword thinks. And this game is a little bit like that. And once you've got into the brain of the person who actually sets it up, then you know what's going to happen, because it's just like a crossword. The clues are all the same. And once you know what's going to happen, and if you watch the Norwich save tomorrow, I knew what was going to happen, and so I just changed things. I could have changed it two ways. I picked the right way, but I changed things in order to outfox the game, really. And that's not how this kind of a game should be. I think it should be a little bit less transparent. I know I've been playing it for a long time, and I guess it is like the crossword thing. I've got to know what is going to happen. And it was so obvious to me in that episode what was going to happen, and because I outfoxed, I didn't actually celebrate at the end and because I just outfoxed it, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be more like sport, but I don't know how you'd actually go about doing that. I'm not a programmer, so I don't know how you'd go about doing that. Should it be more random? I don't know. So what do I need to do now? I need to go to my staff, Gobby, don't I? And then I need to go to transfers and contracts, and I need to delegate this and delegate that one. I need to have a look at this director of football and what he's like. He's pretty useful, but he only has England. What I like about him, he's got very good negotiating skills, and judging player ability is very good. So I think level of discipline is good, determination is good. Ask for more coaches. How many coaches have I got? Yeah, I don't have too many. That's a good point. Where do I go to board request? So I'll have a look, see if I can... board request. Personnel. Staff. Coaches allowed. No, I'm not allowed to. They won't let me have any coaching staff. Is that it? Coaching staff allowed or coaches allowed? Let's try this one. Okay, so we'll ask, and then we need to go and have a look at this director of football. I think he's very good. What do you think of him, Gobby? If I can bring up his profile. I'm not worried about his tactical knowledge, but he does have 15 judging player ability and negotiating 15. He's not, yeah, he is my director of football. So he looks pretty good, but he's only got England and the Republic of Ireland. So what we need to do, I think, is we need to go and look to see if we can find another one. So we'll go and have a look for a director of football. And we will... I want him to have good negotiating. I want him to have good player judging ability and good negotiating. Well, there's a lot of them unemployed, which is good. So let's have a look at this guy. Germany, Norway, Poland, Austria, Switzerland. He's pretty useful. Not very adaptable, though. He's pretty useful, but we'll have another look at the next one. Bradley Ogden, only England. But again, he's very good, but no discipline. He's likely to go missing sometimes. And then, who's this? Only Portugal. He's a very good one, but lacks the mentals. So we'll look at Camara, Brazil, Portugal. Discipline is poor, but the rest is really good. Brazil and Portugal. Interesting. Lorenzo, just Italy, but he's very good. And then Lucanecci, Italy. It's funny how that there are so many, but they've only got one country. Raya Zawanan. He looks very good, but only Holland. England and Nigeria. Interesting combination. Nowhere. He doesn't know anything about anything. Wonder what that means. The Netherlands, Morocco, Brazil. He's better. No, he looks the ticket, yeah? That's someone I should be considering, Gobby, yeah? Would you say? Very much looks the ticket to me. Good negotiating, good judging. He's adaptable, very determined, disciplined, has a good motivator. I would say. And his name is Leonardo. I've just noticed his name. His name is Leonardo. Maybe it's his father. Because he's Brazilian as well. So perhaps it is his father. So, okay. I think we'll go and offer him a contract. I think we have to offer him a contract. At the moment, I think he's unemployed, isn't he? Yeah. He doesn't have a job at the moment. So, he's available on a free transfer. We'll approach to sign him. Oh, my good Lord. I can give you that. And we'll up it to 4 years. Oi, you're unemployed, sunshine. Just take your time. But so now we've changed the director of football, and he should bring in some useful he should bring in some useful players. I don't know if I mean, oh gosh, yeah, we got to go through this, haven't we? The new arrivals. Musa. Only 12 games he played. Came in January, didn't he? Leonardo played well in his 15 goals for Leonardo. Not spectacular, but then we didn't have a very good season, so looking at that, that's poor. But finishing, that's good. The cup, what did we do in the cup? Well, we lost to Bournemouth, didn't we? And the Carabao Cup, we lost to Chelsea. Moments. What was the goal of the season? What was that? This one, wasn't it? Larson. This was the goal of the season. Are you sure? Or it might have been the end one. Larson did score a couple of goals. Not that one. Not that one, for sure. What one is it then? Goal and provide a perfect finish to an excellent team move. Well, it must have been his last one in the 55th minute. Must be that one. because it surely can't be his first one. This is the excellent team move, is it? Oh, not bad, I suppose, not bad. But I'd still say Makuta's goal in the last game of the season was better. I would say much better. So, goal of the season, not bad, not bad. Top shirt seller, Larson of all people, interesting. Then Asprilla, Musa, Cherlanov and Bastian. No change in the reputation. That's not good. It doesn't look good at all. We need to do a lot better than that. Kirking, Costinha, Gabia, terrible. Amadozic, terrible. Twine. Scott Twine. What's he doing in there now anyway? And, I got the manager of the month for March. Competitions, awards, nothing. Fans player of the season, Gregera. He is a good player, Gregera. Signing of the season, Musa. Leonardo, top goal scorer. Leonardo, most overall goals by a player in the season. Cherlanov, 8 assists. Worst discipline, Gherkin. I'd say it was a pretty good finish. I'd say it was a pretty good finish to the season. It was a dreadful start. The board are pretty pleased, I think. Will accept their current vision. No point in trying to negotiate it yet. And I think we're good enough not to be involved in a relegation battle next year. The code of conduct. Well done, lads. Go on holiday. It could be, Gobby. Could be a very long night. I don't know if we're going to get through the entire transfer window here. Your failure to play. We would like to talk to you about what. Well, I admit to make no. I'm not going to play you. We simply blah blah blah. If you don't want to play for the club, hopefully I can move on. So he wants to leave. That's fine, no problem. I did need to sell someone because I need to bring some money in. He's only worth 19 million, but at least it's money coming in. And his wage is quite high, isn't it? Gregera. It's his wage. No, he's only on 29. So we're unwilling to grant no more coaching staff allowed. I kind of felt that would be. So I don't know. Hey Frank, how you doing? I don't know what you guys want me to do. Shall we go on with this Burnley save? The idea was to do this live stream to show that you can actually get from the Prem and negotiate your first season in the Prem, and it's not that difficult. I'd read on Facebook forums quite a bit that people struggled to get from the Championship to the Prem and were always getting relegated again. So that's why I set this up. So what do you want to do, guys? Some of you have been enjoying it, and I just want to throw it open to you. What shall we do in terms? Shall we go on, do another season? Shall we make it quicker? Shall we not go into so much detail now and just get through the season quickly? What shall we do? I want to throw it open to you, and I'll follow along with what you want. Shall we just try and get through the season a bit quicker? Shall I go away and do the transfer window? Although this is the bit that Gobby's looking forward to. He's got to make himself a cuppa. And I was going to say Leonardo. We've already signed him, haven't we? But it's actually the new director of football. So we're going to make Thursday the 6th of June. That is going to be coming into play. And I mean, one of the interesting things, I don't know if you saw Gobby's video, guys. One of the interesting things that he did say, a good tip that he did say right at the beginning, is wait. Don't jump in straight away. It was, and I never do, and I think I've said that in one of my tutorials. Wait. Don't do anything at the beginning. Wait, because players get better as the transfer window moves on. So you have I don't know whether he'll get a work permit, Cherlanoff. He kept getting left out of his international team. Oh, did you? Because I was going to say, I just said it's a very good tip that you made. It's like, just wait, because the players will get better. I mean, I know people panic and they want to pick up players straight away. But if you wait a little while, you probably will get better players for the same money, or even less sometimes. I tend to, just for here, I'm just looking for end of contract. So I'd go, Cherlanoff commits his future to Burnley until he gets a strop on next time. and then that commitment will be gone. Yeah, we're scouting the world, so that's good, but I don't have enough scouts to scout the world. So what I would basically do at this point is I'm just looking for the 1st of July. So I'm going to be looking for players who are out of contract. And I'm just trying to figure out how do we do that again? Contract status, expiring. So expired, no, expiring 1 month. So we're going to be we'll have a look for those players and make it to 31, because you'll still get a good 3 years. So any position. So let's have a look. There's nobody. Actually, nobody is. I got it any position, haven't I? Expiring 1 month. Do I have to put transfer status any? Do I have to put a position in here? Let's just put a couple of positions in here. We'll go there, go there. Now click OK. No, there's nobody whose contract. That's why. Silly me. But there's only one whose contract is actually running out. Decent. Gotta say, he's decent. What would he do? Centre mid on support. He can tackle, and I need someone who can tackle, and he can mark. His mentals are outstanding for a freebie. Decent player. Not very tall, but then, hey ho, doesn't matter. What do you think of him? What do you think of him? I think he could play very nicely as a centre mid on support, especially as we've just agreed to sell, what's his name? I think he'd be very decent. He looks good to me for a freebie. Technically, he's not the greatest player. His first touch is okay, and his technique is okay. But he can pass, he can tackle and mark, and that's what I want from a centre mid. And it's this. These are what count. This is what's going to make him a good player at this lower level stuff, at this lower league stuff. I quite like him. I'm going to put him on the hot list, short list. So actually no, I'll create a new, let's go to shortlist, create a new one, and we'll call this one free, and then we'll add that boy to our free, so that I must remember to check this. We only need to add, let's add him for 3 months. So he actually, even though he's not going to develop much, he's 25 years old though. What's his salary like? 2.5k. He just looks like the biscuit to me. Work rate, especially good. Brilliant determination, very brave, great aggression and anticipation. Tackling is awesome. He looks like a good deal to me for free. So that's what I would normally just focus on, is freebies. I'm surprised that there's no more with contracts finishing. Let's go back and try that again. Just go any position. Oh, we got 2. So we've seen him. And then there's Hagi. Oh, look at his technicals then. Oh, he looks like a very decent player for free as well. Yeah, I don't want them too aggressive, Brandon. They're too aggressive. They tend to get themselves into trouble. Which one, Napa? Which one do you like? Hagi. Hagi looks decent to me. He's 25 years old. It's cheap. Well, he'd be for free. He looks really decent to me. Didn't have the greatest of seasons with Rangers, 6.96, 6.78, but I don't tend to take much notice of that. He can develop into a 3.5 star. I don't know about you boys, but he's technically what a good player. And he, I think he's he takes great corners, brilliant free kick taker. I think he's definitely one to be getting in when you're a struggling team. He is... Oh, is he Giorgio Hagi's son? Ah, okay. Yanis Hagi. I don't know what you think, but technically he's a very good player. He's also got good mentals, apart from his aggression, but that's okay. You don't really need aggression for a winger or for attacking mid. But he's like these are really good mentals for somebody who plays across the line up here. Like, not much pace with him. That's his downfall, is that he doesn't have any pace. But he could sit in this hole and he could just spray passes around and take pot shots, because he's got one heck of a long shot on him as well. I think he's definitely got to be worth looking at. He could even play as a forward if you needed him to. His wide play, probably a playmaker for me rather than actually a winger. Inside forward, possibly. Probably have him as an inside forward on attack, but he doesn't have the pace to be a winger. But as a playmaker, he could sit out and just spray passes around, take pot shots, and he could play as a playmaker on either side. I think he would be a very good playmaker, out wide playmaker. Poor decisions. That might hold him back a little bit. And yeah, he is slow, but it doesn't say anything about his intelligence being poor. Asking price is well below the market value. Of course it is, he's 0. So I think he needs to go on the list as well. Interesting player. Interesting player. But that's it for end of contracts. There's nothing else going on here. So you just Hagi and the other guy. Devlin. But pick those two up. I think they're very good players. That's it. Contracts expiring. He plays in the middle. Oh, okay. So sits in the hole as the attacking mid. Technically, he's a very good player. I mean, brilliant set piece taker. Absolutely. And you need one of those. And I thought we had a good one in Twine, but actually we didn't. So I don't know, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to continue with this? Do you at the same speed, or try to speed it up? Just forget about the tactical stuff, and just play the game through. What's this? We've been invited to a friendly competition. Osasuna and Heidenheim. Osasuna are a good team. When are the dates? Oh, it doesn't tell me. Let's accept it. Let's accept it. Aspria has been called up. And that was really nice as well this year in the Norwich save. Wilden got an England cap. He's only had one England cap, but it's so nice that Wilden from the Norwich save got an England cap. Finally got one. Absolutely. He's been a top goal scorer in the Premier League for 3 seasons. How he hasn't got more caps, I don't know. But there you go. Sets the date for retirement. So this, for me, is... I don't like this part of the game. I know you love this part of the game, Gobby, don't you? But I don't like this part of the game. I like to get into the matches and play the game. Bastion is someone we could think about selling. Showing no improvement. Okay, we'll take him off them. I think we should just like play this like I would the Norwich save, rather than talk about tactics and what have you, going through the data hub and doing that. Just play the game and get through much more games each time we come on. He's good, isn't he? 5-star potential. Another good player. Looks decent to me. Bags of potential. He's good for 19 years old. Looks like a very good player at 19 years old. Just make the save more aggressive. How do you mean more aggressive? Like shout a bit more. Like pull my hair out harder. And like you mean go a bit faster. Is that what you're saying? We can go faster. There's no big deal about that. And the original idea was I was like trying to get people like beginners in here who didn't know how to use the data hub, didn't know how to didn't know how to use the data hub, didn't know how to use the and all the other bits that you do in match prep. And that's why I slowed it down. And as we got to the end of the season, you saw I was just speeding it up. Like, let's just play the games. That's because I'd lost my patience with it. It was doing such really strange things. Trigger extension. Okay, we'll trigger as extension. And so we could go. I used to. I used to watch Work the Space, and I used to watch Lelouch. Now I just don't. I watch Gobby now. I just don't have time to actually binge watch anymore. I watch Gobby's channel. I quite like that. Gobby gets more frustrated than me, and that's what I like about it. I laugh quite a lot at Gobby when he's getting frustrated because I see myself in it. And so I do watch Gobby, and that's the only one at the moment. I have looked at a couple of other up and coming YouTubers, shall we say, but for me, they're not doing anything for me. So I'm still trying to look for other channels that could do with support, but I haven't found any yet. Yeah, it's you are probably worse than me, Gobby, and I see my frustration in you, and I often say, like, if you like to, I say in my intro, if you like to see people suffer playing this game, you're in the right place. And I see it in you as well. I see the suffering that goes on. It makes me think, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? It's like, let's offer him a professional contract then while we're here. Yeah, sounds fine. It's like, let's get the DOF to negotiate. We just got a new DOF, so we'll get the old one. Actually, oh, what's happened here? Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll agree to that. £300 a week, expensive, but we're gonna manage that, I think. Nathan Phillips, do we want to keep him at the club? Did he play well enough? I don't think he did he? 7, he had some good games. I don't think they will loan him out again, though. So, no, I don't want to try. He's got a cheap. He's cheap though, isn't he? 160,000. I think we could probably bring him in. That's still cheap. That's very cheap. Yeah, well, I think we'll bring him in. Depends on what wage he asks for now. Makuta, it's a squad player. You're having a laugh. Let's try him, but not Makuta. Let's try it. Can always reverse it. Diallo. Yeah, I'd like to keep Diallo. He's a bit more pricey though. So can we make a loan offer for him? Yeah, like they're going to accept that. No, we're not going to be able to keep him. Haha, yeah. So the only way we're going to be able to keep him is if he doesn't get moved on at the end of the season. Squad player's good. Knock him down a bit. Awesome. He obviously likes me. He wants to come in. So we've made our first signing. Boredom in retirement. It could be, Gobby. It could well be. It's like but yeah, I kind of... that's why I like watching your channel, because it makes me laugh. And And that's what I hope people see in mine as well. It makes them laugh when I'm suffering. It's like a winger with elite dribbling. Yeah, I wish I could find one. I wish I could find one. Could be of use. Yeah, okay. Could become better than Bastion. Well, anybody could become better than Bastion. Could become better than Musa. Asprilla. Asprilla's form needs recognition. Yeah? You sure about that? 5.8, 6.2. Praise recent form. You sure? I will buy players that fit into the way we're playing, and that's why when we looked at those two guys, where was it? Scouting. If we go to those two freebies that we were looking at, Devlin, for me, he was a good player because he can tackle and he can mark. So he fits the way that I want to play. My centre mid here, because we only have one here and one here, I need them to both to be able to tackle and to mark players. So that's why I was attracted by him straight away. He can do both of those defensive duties. And then when I saw his mentals, I thought, wow, he is just such a good player to bring in for a team that's going to be at the lower end of the league. So that's his mentals are perfect for survival, for a survival player. But the fact that he can mark and he can tackle is what first attracted me. So I will look for players who fit the system that I'm going to play. If he's going to play on the left, this guy, I need him to be an inside forward. So if he can't play as an inside forward on support or attack, I'm not interested. And this is what I'm really put off by, the fact that he has no pace. As an attacking mid, he looks a lot better. He was just going to sit in the hole here. He doesn't need pace unless I was going to play him as a shadow striker. And I've no intention of playing him as a shadow striker. He'd be an attacking mid. He could just sit in the hole. He doesn't need pace for an attacking mid. Got what it is. I need players who can play in here. And I'm a bit short of players who can play in there. Then he would fit very nicely. But at the moment, because I'm playing the 4-2-4, I need players who can play on the wing. I don't need these two, centre mid or... So I'd have to go back and look at Devlin. And Devlin can play there. And he can play as an anchor. Make a very good anchor. Can he play as a Segundo Volante? Not really. Finishing would let him down. But he'd make a very good anchor to fit into the Brazilian 4-2-4. So those two players, no matter which system I play, would fit the system. So that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking for players. I admire the rest of them, but if they're not going to fit the way we play, there's no point in even looking at them. I can't change the tactic because of one player or two players. They have to fit what we're doing. Yeah, 18 dribbling in League One. How did you find him? So I guess you've got him on Dribble More. How did you find a guy with 18 dribbling in League One? That's like insane. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I see it often in the Prem to get players with 18 dribbling. Chris Baird, scouts. 16, 15. I need someone who can scout somewhere else rather than England, but I'm not finding them. England, France. Do I have anybody in France? Do I have anyone in France? Yeah, I got France covered already. I want to go out east. I don't have a lot of scouts. Nitti doesn't have, but he's the chief scout. He can just stay at home. I'm not bothered. Wozni, I want to get rid of him when his contract's finished. So he can just hang around and wipe up all the little scouting things. Nitti needs an assignment, but he can just stay in the office, do the meetings. That's it for my scout. I'm going to ask them if I can have some more scouts. Because that's not many. I think I've got 40 scouts in the Norwich save. That's not many. Staff, scouts. Where's the scouts? Can't do it, can I? Coaches allowed, scouts allowed. There isn't a scouts allowed. Ah, that's not very good. Not allowed to have more scouts. Coaches allowed. They've turned me down on that one, Gobby. I'm not allowed any more coaches. And scouts just not even listed there. So I'm not allowed any more scouts either. So I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to wait until I find one who can go abroad a bit more. Head physio. Okay, we'll do that if you think it's a good deal. Eastern Europe. I like to go to Serbia, Croatia. But most of the players in 23 I found in Portugal. It's just kind of interesting. Some very good players in Portugal. No, we're not going to sign him. Alistair Thrush. Good name for a physio. But his motivating is terrible. We'll have a look for those. Trigger extension. Now you normally, Gobby, go through all of these yourself, don't you? Oh my good God. I'm looking at this and thinking, ugh, do I want to go through all these? I know that there's a scout that I don't want. So I just got to find out who that scout is, which is Paul Wozni. He's only 11 and 11, and I'm not really interested in him. So if his contract is in there, I'll just say no to that. So I'm just going to look for him. Paul Wozni. So we'll highlight him and we'll just say don't offer contract. And then we'll have a look at maybe the physios. 16 is good enough for the time being. Physio, 18. Yeah, that's fine. 17 physio, that's fine. Chief doctor. Sports science, 15. It's not bad. Sports science, 15. Sports science 18. So although I did notice you talking about these bar charts. I suppose I could sit down and just go into staff search and then replace them, or just wait until their contracts are up. Well, I do have a scout, but I kind of think if you're going to hire staff, you place an advert. So I don't kind of want to go into staff search and then just search for a scout and sign him. But also, I also feel if you place an advert, you've got more chance of signing them because they've applied for the job rather than just headhunting someone. Although headhunting, it happens to me, so why wouldn't I do it? But for now, for the sake of this, rather than just go through all of these, I just wanted the DOF. If he says he can do it, that's why you have a director of football. He can do all this. As I say, the only one I don't want is that scout. And Paul Wozni, it's time for him to go. But the others, why not? Over time, your staffing will naturally get better. The Norwich save, they're the best in the league, and I haven't done anything special. It's just over time they will get better. I know people do it in the first 10 minutes of their save. Don't offer a contract. Okay. Where's Wozni? Oh, see, talking there. I think I might have offered him a contract. No decision made. Thank goodness for that. DOF can do that. I know, yeah, I mean, I know it's important to have really good staff, but I just tend to do it slowly rather than rush into it. So all of those are done. Oh my good Lord. Search stats for a scout. So in terms of the transfer window, boys, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to just work through it myself and then come back when it's done? Or do you want to go through it with me? Up to you guys. I'm just quite happy chatting away to you and answering questions. And like some of the information that's coming in here is really good. I need to find a winger with 18 dribbling now. That would be quite good. Who is Gardner? Loan manager. Why have I got him on the shortlist? So we are at June the 1st now. Amadozic could leave Burnley. What's his release clause? 17 million. I'd sell him for 17. He's had a terrible season. If anybody comes in with 17 million, I think they'd be mad. I'd rather have Phillips, actually. Let's see what the fans make of this signing. It's usually a good indicator. Contract extension. The board happy, the job is secure. I would say it should be much better than secure. Finishing 13th when we were predicted to be down here should be more than secure. Yeah, aggressively elite dribbler. I need to find one of them. It must be possible if you can find one for League One. Yeah, I don't think the board are helping very much, Gobby. Although they were quite generous, it has to be said that they were quite generous with the finances. 46 mil was more than what I thought I'd get. So I'm fairly happy with the board at the moment. I mean, we only finished 13th. We're not safe by any means next season. So I guess they got to be careful with money at the moment. But look at these players and how cheap they are. Like 7.2 million, 3.5 star, 4-star potential here, 9 million. Who is he? There's so many players. Mentos could be better, but again, he's a very technical player. His goalkeeping is extremely good. Mentos could be better. So there's so many good players that are cheap. I wish he could play on the other side as well. It would be handy, but plays in 2 positions. His mentals again could be better. Technicals are good. Good pace. So many good players that are being found cheap. So anyway, guys, you're not answering the questions. Shall I just go through the transfer window myself? Or shall we just go through it? We can just buy players together. I guess that's not going to be the most interesting way to do a save for you guys. Although Gobby would probably enjoy it, I guess, seeing me suffer in a transfer window. But it would be good to have him around to advise me. I don't know. I'm really prepared to go whichever way you guys want to go. Oh, this Hagi has a future transfer arranged. He's already going out somewhere. He's already signed up with Union Berlin. Oh, what a shame. Has a transfer arranged. That's a shame. Technique, work rate. Technique's very, very important. It's like whether he's a defender, midfielder, or attacker. Without technique, they're not going to be very good. Work rate, teamwork. Pace depends where they are. But I think I've done a video somewhere. The things that I look for, it's really simple what I look for. It's here. When you're going to struggle in the Prem, you need them. You need a fairly aggressive player. You're going to need composure, concentration, decisions, and teamwork and work rate. Those are the things that you need when you're struggling in the in the Premier League, or you're just new to the Premier League. It's these attributes. The mentals are the most important things. Technique is always useful and first touch, but I would look at mentals before anything else. When I'm signing a player, he's got to have good mentals. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to survive. You're the leader. Take me to your leader. That's God. What a leader. Oh, my God. Okay, so we'll try and get through it as fast as possible. I might even do a little bit and then come back next time. And we'll have moved a month on, and then we'll do a month, and then sooner or later we'll get to the season. I think I just would like to play a little bit faster through the season, like maybe a month at a time, and go to key highlights. Don't bother with the data hub and all that, and just go through the season and see what happens. Set up the team, and rather than do the analytical stuff, but if you guys want the analytical stuff, the data hub, the opposition instructions, all that sort of stuff, then I'll do it. But if you don't want it, who is Donny Donacho? And what happened to my head honcho Leonardo? Oh, still waiting on his work permit. Who is Donny Donacho? Oh, physio. Doesn't need a head. Chatfield. It's not really much of an upgrade, is it? It's hardly anything of an upgrade. So I think we'll cancel. So that was a waste of time. My assistant to Barry Fry's sign everyone. I wish I had the cash. Driscoll signs a new deal. We'll get to some friendlies as well soon. Once the boys are back from holiday. Kirkin's injured. Another fullback. I can't believe in my Norwich save that I've had I've got 6 fullbacks, or used to have 6 fullbacks, but they're all injured. The game has really thrown its toys out of the pram. Leonardo, we do now have a new director, so we'll confirm the old director of football out, and we have a new director of football. So we'll see what he actually... A quicker pace would be my vote. Okay, that's cool, Gobby. We can go at a quicker pace. I mean, it just means cutting out the all the pre-match stuff, and we'll go to key highlights. We'll up the tempo of the game a bit. Do I want to respond to that? I'm very excited. He's very good at what he does. I have no idea who he is, but we'll say that for the press anyway. Well, I'm keen to see what he does and if he messes up my transfer budgets, my wage budget. Yeah, how you can use strength, the attribute strength. And it was more of an FM22 video. I'm not even sure if that's still applicable in 23. I know the one I did on complacency, that is still applicable. And if you do get the double draw syndrome, then it does work. We got a game in 42 days. Oh my good lord. What have we got in terms of friendlies? Do I know yet? Nah. Can't even see the next. Yes, I can. What happened to that competition that we were supposed to be playing? The Friendly Cup. That's not listed. What happened to that? We confirmed that. We said we wanted to play. Maybe they've decided that to withdraw the application, the invite. So the transfer window has begun. I mean, the transfer window, Gobby, the only way to do this would be to go slow. Because otherwise you're going to miss so many players. He's definitely worth scouting. The mentals are not great, but he's a winger. You wouldn't expect them to be. That he's definitely worth scouting as well. Because Muric, I'm not really too happy about Muric. So yeah, I mean, we definitely... Oh, I forgot about him, Danilo. We brought him in for centre mid, haven't we? 3.5-star player. So this is like, you look at Danilo, well, you can see what I'm looking for immediately. It's the mentals. And if you're struggling at the bottom of a league, just head for the mentals. If they've got good mentals, you'll survive. And he's a good deep line playmaker. He's a very good deep line playmaker. He can play centre mid. He'll make a very, very good squad player. He could even, at a pinch, play as a segundo volante. He has the mentals to do the segundo volante job. And he can mark and tackle. So I think he's a good player. And we picked him up for next to nothing. And now he's worth 34 mil. So, and the fans are happy to sign such a talented, important player, but his recent form hasn't been good. 82 million spent by Burnley on transfer fees. Blimey. Wigan, shall I let him go? Shall I let him go? Yeah. He needs playing time, doesn't he? He's 21, yeah. He's 21. He's not good enough, so he needs playing time. We'll let him go out on loan. Oh, I'm not even going to bother. So, I think... Should I go through the transfer window on my own? We'll come back with a few weeks to the first game, because most of it's going to be boring for you guys. And it's not a barrel of laughs for me, working through one email after another. And at the moment, I'm really just waiting until July. I'm not going to do anything until July to see, and we'll see at the July the 9th, I think it is, what players have left. What? Missed an offer? Did I? Where was that? Off. Oh, this one here. Oh, yeah. He looks pretty tasty, doesn't he? He's a forward. Do I need another forward? I've got Musa and Leonardo. Do I need another forward? Yeah, I've got him now. I've got Andre Silva Gobby. But do I need him? Oh, he's a very good player, and if you look at his mentals are absolutely lovely. His positioning isn't great, but lovely mentals. Physicals are good finisher. But do I need another forward? Is this just a complete waste of money? Because I already have Leonardo Campbell. Is he still around? Is he out on loan? Is he? Oh no, he's in the reserves. We need to be putting him up, making sure he's up for sale. Let's try to get rid of Campbell. And then offer him out. Poor thing, he's not getting any football. We need to get rid of him. So, do I need another forward? I got Asprilla, but he didn't play particularly well. But I've got Leonardo, Musa, Asprilla. Do I need another forward? Great partner for Leonardo. Hi James, how you doing, mate? And then like Musa, I can't play Musa anywhere else other than a striker. So that would mean I'd have to sell Musa, and I'm not really sure I want to do that. Yeah, I have a rule though, Andrew, that I don't, unless they turn up on my scouting recommendations, I don't go looking for players. I just have that rule, and I know that because like I sit here and I complain about the game so much, and I complain the game cheats, and yet then I refuse to go and do these things myself. And that's another point that Gobby made in the video. If something can be done, then do it, because the game will do it to me. So I don't really need to be nice to the game. But I am very nice to the game, and I wait rather than go chasing all these big clubs. I wait for players to turn up on the lists. Maybe I should stop doing that. Maybe I should be more aggressive and take the computer on a little bit, because it does it to me. I have 3 good forwards. I don't think I need another one. Unless I'm going to play in the Brazilian style, which I could do. I could play the Brazilian style, and then I'd need 5 forwards up there, or 4 forwards up there. What am I doing? So if I'm going to play that, then it would be a good idea to have another forward. But where is he going to be playing is the question. Andre Silva, the offer's made, so I'm going to have to cancel it. If where would he play? Which side? Can he play as a false nine? Can, but he's not great. He's not bad. In fact, he'd make a very good false nine. Looking at it, he'd make a very good false nine. And he could also probably play as a deep line forward as well. On attack. He'd be an excellent deep line forward on attack. Maybe I should play the Brazilian style. Let's let him run with that. I'm going to let the director of football run with that one. Because he would be a good addition. It would mean that then I will have more access to wingers. Asprilla can now drop back into being a winger. He can play on either side, Asprilla. And then the other one who was playing up there was Diallo. So yeah, I mean, Diallo will not be here for much longer. So I'm going to let the director of football run with that one. See if he can... But do I need to do anything? It looks like he's made an offer, negotiated the contract. Do I need to do anything, Gobby? I think he's... Transfer offer made. So the offer's been made. So what do I need to do now? Nothing until... Burnley have made a new bid. Oh, I'm going to decline that. Yeah, but I think I might play the Brazilian way in the next season. So let's get another forward in. The thing I've got to be careful of is that players who don't fit into this system, and everybody fits into that system. The only one maybe is Goho. He can only play on the left. And so he doesn't really fit the system. So maybe we could transfer list him at some point. Larson does fit the system, but why is he not showing that he fits the system? Oh, because he's in the wrong place. That's better. So everyone fits the system except for Gobo. Danilo fits the system. He's very, very good at what he does. I think that yeah, we'll go with the 4-2-4. We'll let the director of football have his moment, and we'll sign him and play the 4-2-4. Is the Brazilian style to have nothing down the sides and the middle overloaded? Basically, if you have a look at it, it is. It's not a wide tactic. It's narrow. We play narrow, and then the secret of it is the way that Brazil played was to have a deep line forward on attack, and what he does is he drops down into this area. You'll often find him in the center circle. So he overloads the midfield, and what you've then got is a false nine who comes into this area. So they're not really attackers, but because he's on attack duty, he aggressively tries to get into the box as well as the false nine. So they will fill these spaces up here. So they've almost like got a 4 here across the... That's what they've got. They've got a 4 across the third line. So they're not functioning as forwards, but they're making aggressive runs. That should be a false 9. when we are moving forward, they're making aggressive runs. The complete wing back causes absolute mayhem in here as well. He can also overlap. He comes inside. You've got the Segundo Volante. He's up here all the time. There's complete overloads, and even the DM finds himself in these areas when they go forward. And it is the key to it is that they're not counter pressing. So basically, they will counterattack, but they won't counter-press. They won't regroup either. Then when they lose the ball, they just run after the person with the ball, basically. So how they used to play football in the 70s. I remember playing it myself. But it's a very controlled possession game, but they're told to be very expressive and to run with the ball. I didn't think, when I put it together, I didn't think it would work. But it does. And the overloads come in here because these players are not playing strictly as forwards. They're playing a much deeper game than... they're not advanced forwards or poachers. They're not on the shoulder of the last defence. They're coming deep. And that's creating space for the Volante. It creates space for the DM. And these two wingers are just coming in here as well. They're cutting inside. The two centre-backs have a nightmare because sometimes they got 5 players to deal with. So that's why it kind of works, I think. It's hard to figure that one out. The 4-1-2-2-1, I can tell you why. I can tell you why it works. Because it creates space on the right-hand side of the field. Yeah, I mean, it is like a box because those two forwards are coming backwards. It is like you have this box in the midfield. It is, you're quite correct. It's like a box. But it's simply caused by these two players coming deeper so that you then have this box midfield here. But these players are also coming inside as well. And because it's narrow, there's absolute bedlam in this area of the pitch. And so that's why I think it works. The 4-1-2-2-1 is much easier to explain. Because what happens with this is that most of the play tends to drift over to the left. That means that the opposition are sliding over to the left, which creates room out here for 3 players. And these 3 players find that they often are a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1 in this area. That's why that one works, but it's harder to explain the Brazilian one. I'm really not quite sure on that one. But I think it's because of that box. I think you're right. The 2 forwards coming back create that box for the other players to work around, and it's quite cute the way it works. I don't know. I quite like making these tactics up. It's quite fun. I'm going to do a video on style. Somebody's asked me to do a video on how do you set up a certain style of play. And and I like doing that kind of stuff, so I'll probably do a video on how to set up a vision of how you want to play, because if you're going to do a tactic, you have to know this is how I want to play, and you have to have a picture in your head of how you want your team to play. So I will do a video on that one day, because I think that's quite fun. Gobby, would you leave this now to the director of football, or would you do it yourself? This wage is going to get me into trouble for a start, isn't it? Yeah. The wage is very high. So I'm going to have to sell someone first. What would you do, Gobby? Would you leave it to the director of football, or would you do it yourself? Because at the moment I don't have the money. I do not have the money to sign him, so I wonder how he's going to get round that. What do you think, Gobby? Hand it over to him? Because there's no way I can afford that. The board, what will happen is that the board, I've absolutely no doubt, will reduce that. If I go too far over, they'll reduce that down to about 40%. And I don't want that to happen. What would you do, Gobby? And I can't move on until I make a decision. Where are you? Okay, even if you don't have the money, I'm going to hand it over to him just to buy some time, because I need to sell players. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my squad, and we're going to go to Goho. I didn't like him at all. He's worth 11 million. And we're going to transfer list him. We'll see if any interest comes in for him without a specified amount of money. But there must be other players who are wanted, surely. Must be. So I'm going to guess that the director of football is going to have a problem signing that Silva because we don't have any wage budget. Or is he going to drop my... is he going to drop my... Ooh. Committed spend is 1-1. What's he done? Has he actually... Well, he's considering a contract. So he's offered him a contract. $77,000. So he has offered him a contract. Oh, my lord. I'm going to walk away from that. That's too expensive. Way too expensive. Might be back to plan B. So yeah, it's pretty much screwed that up because that was way too expensive and I just didn't have the budget to do it. So, but don't worry, there'll be other players along. There'll be other players. Oh, do I have a scout that looks foreign? German. Portuguese. Scotland and England. The best one, Scotland and England. Adaptability. He's only 12, but there's lots of good... Oh, although he's not very good at judging, he does know a lot of the world, and Portugal as well, which is quite interesting. Portugal, Brazil, France, Argentina, Colombia. What do I have mostly? Brazil, Argentina. You could go to Argentina. I've got most of Europe covered. Oh, I don't know. I'm terrible at this kind of stuff. Let's offer him a contract. He'll either accept it or he won't. So I think, guys, I will work my way through this transfer window for a little while rather than bore you guys silly. And then I'll come back after a month and we'll work our way through a little bit. We'll have some friendlies to play at that point. So, and I probably won't do much in terms of signing people until July anyway. So I'll come back. I'll work a month through and then come back. we'll see where we're up to there. Because I don't want to bore you silly as we go through a transfer window, and yet I don't want to speed up so that I miss the opportunity to sign players. So yeah, it's an interesting conundrum. Something I've never faced before, and I have no idea how to navigate it. But it is what, 10 o'clock now, so I think we'll probably call it a night for tonight. I'll play through a little bit, a few weeks till I get to July, where the freebies become available, and then probably come back then, and we'll play a friendly or two as well. That'll be a better way to do it. Okay, guys, thanks for coming. I really do appreciate you coming in, and I really do enjoy chatting with you. A lot of you said a lot of interesting things. Oh, hi, James. I didn't see your message there. Good to see you, mate. Sorry, I didn't see your message. And so it is, for me, this is a great, fun way to play the game. Making videos is hard work. This isn't hard work. This is just fun where I get to hang around with you guys and chat. So thanks for coming along. Thanks for making my day. And we'll come back on Tuesday. I'll have played through a month or so, and then it'll be a bit more interesting for you guys. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to call it a day there. Stay safe. Have a great night. And we'll see you in the next one. Night, Gobby. Night, James. Night, NB. Have a good night, guys. Night, Brandon. Night, Napa. Hope you all have a great night. And to you, Andrew, have a great night.